going on, Jeromes? So Dalton Risner was a very interesting situation for the Vikings. A former pride of Kansas State, also tons of ties with the current Vikings coaching staff, going back to his days in Denver, and him off of his rookie deal was sitting out there in free agency, just chilling into the start of the season, despite having some interest from the Vikings and also a couple of visits here or there. And I feel like Risner was the OG, hey, YouTube and social media just bullies a team into doing something, and it actually worked out. Jaren Hall starting. Start Jaren Hall the full game next time. But Vikings fans, we got what we wanted. Dalton Risner was in the house, and eventually he did start over Ezra Cleveland, who got injured and eventually got traded to the Jacksonville Jaguars. And Risner has been fantastic so far this season in pass blocking. Well, run blocking has been FUBAR, and I don't necessarily blame a single player or the running back room. I think altogether it's just been messed up. But PFF Vikings pointed this out. Dalton Risner, come on up for the Risner, hasn't allowed a sack on 412 pass blocking snaps for the Vikings this season, which is pretty good. And stats-wise, his PFF, I should say PFF, PFF pass line grade is 69.6. Nice, which is 8th in the league amongst left guards. Pressure is only 26 allowed, 15th. Now, yes, he's only played in 11 of the 16 games for the Vikings, but 0 sacks allowed, as well as only 3 penalties. So overall, he has done exceedingly well at that left guard spot. And the Vikings, they do need to look to take care of him, because he did sign a 1-year prorated $3 million deal with the Vikings. And I think the Vikings, even though they're in a spot where, yes, you could have to pay Kirk. Yes, you should definitely pay Justin Jefferson. Yes, you should look into extending Danielle Hunter. Yes, Darrisaw is eligible for an extension. Although I feel like the last couple of games, some fans have turned on Darrisaw, even though he's obviously dealing with that core muscle injury. But it's whatever. But the Vikings should and could pay up and take care of Dalton Risner, even though the Vikings have a relatively expensive offensive line, as Darrisaw is eligible for an extension, probably going to be in the upper tier for left tackle money. Bradbury got paid like a top 10 center. Brian O'Neill has a premium right tackle contract. I fully understand that, but the Vikings offensive line still has some issues. But I do think that letting go of Risner would be a mistake. And looking at relative comps, so Risner is going to be 29. Robert Hunt of the Dolphins is about to hit free agency. He's just north of 27. But he's projected by Spot Rack to be averaging around $8.5 million per year. I don't necessarily see that much for Risner. I think maybe around the 6 per year range, maybe like a 3-year $18 million deal could make sense. But why re-sign him? He's only going to be 29 in July. Still has a number of very solid years in his prime ahead of him. He's a proven fit in current scheme. Also great attitude, solid locker room guy. He's one of the media's favorite guys to interview, and he's always got a positive, upbeat attitude. And it's weird, because when he wasn't being signed, there was all these theories bandied about. He yelled at Brett Rippon on the sideline, so he's a bad teammate, blah, 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 blah. That is obviously not true. Or was it minor medical stuff? That's what seems to be most likely. I think Kevin O'Connell even addressed that when they signed him. Also, reward faith. Both ways, by the way, where other teams, they didn't sign Risner, and the Vikings did take a chance on him, and it worked out. And also, I think that Risner is very happy to be here. A team did take a chance on him, so maybe that does cut both ways. Also, this is going to sound hyperbolic, but it's really not. He's the best Vikings left guard since Steve Hutchinson. Now, Hutchinson, Hall of Famer, All-Pro, all that stuff. Risner's not quite that, but you look at the gong show of left guards. So Hutchinson's final year in purple was 2011, before he spent a cup of coffee with the Titans. But after that, Charlie Johnson. I mean, this reads like the new version of "We Didn't Start the Fire" by Billy Joel. Charlie Johnson, Vlad Ducasse, Brandon Fusco, Alex Boone, Nick Easton, Jeremiah Searles, Danny Isadora, Tom Compton, Pat Elfline, Da Kosher, blah, blah, blah. That doesn't work. But Ezra was pretty damn solid. But we said this a bunch. He was a tackle playing guard, and he's a peacock captain. He's got to fly, and I think he's going to get the bag in free agency as a tackle, which props to him. But Risner, I mean, looking at this list, yes. I mean, Risner is the best left guard. Now, Joe Berger played left guard for a little bit. Frankly, I think that he was the best Vikings offensive lineman of the 2010s decade, but mainly he played center. And yes, Brandon Fusco was solid, but they kept flip-flopping him on sides, and that didn't necessarily work. Also, you do have to factor in Risner does have positional flexibility. He could back up all 5 spots in a pinch, or maybe push Bradbury at center. I don't know. I don't know. So either way, Dalton Risner should stay in the picture, even though the Vikings, they have some of the cap void years coming due, as well as they have a lot of mouths to feed on the payroll. But taking care of Risner and making sure that you don't backslide at a very key position on this offense going forward is very, very important. But your thoughts are thoughts. Roadhouse. Vikings do need to sign Dalton Risner. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.